Hello, everyone. It's Semi-Retired Bob here. I talk about the proper human diet, all things related to the proper human diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. Let me know if you can hear me. That's the way we start every live stream, making sure you can hear me. And of course, Charger Mopar is here. He got his van running. I don't know if you guys have been watching that, but he got his van running and got some repairs done to it too. William is here. Hello, William. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Rick says he can hear me. That's great. Thanks, Rick. And let's see how next year will be. I agree completely. And hello, John. I'm glad you're here as well. Let's go back to this this comment here. Let's see how next year will be. Going into 2020, if we had known what was going to happen, we'd probably said, nah. And now that we've seen what the last few years have given us, can I see the disclaimers for 2024 before actually accepting 2024? I'm glad you guys are here today. Looks like there's 6 of you, and they don't forget to say hello if you haven't already. Hello, Bob. We can hear you. 30 pounds of ribeye I just bought can hear you too. Excellent. 30 pounds. Yeah, there's been a lot of really good ribeye sales, standing rib roasts, all that kind of stuff. For those of you that have that in your budget, don't forget to stock up on that. Fill your freezer as full as you can get it. We'll see. I may go out this afternoon and buy one, but I don't think I will. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's a few sales going on around me. See here. Lucky rich man with a ribeye cuts. I'm stuck with ground beef. Yeah, I do ground beef as well. And $6.99 for ribeyes is a really good price. They've got, most places have rib roasts are somewhere between $6.99 and $7.99, which makes it very affordable compared to what it normally is. But for those of us that are, trying to keep things under $5 a day, that's still a little bit out of the price range. But see here. Yes, $2.29 a pound for ground beef at Gordon Foods, and one of the local stores. Well, as you saw in one of my videos recently, they had buy one get one half off, which took it to a fairly reasonable price of about $3.50 a pound. And normally, after the rib roast sales are done, they take all of the trimming that basically the ground beef that the stores that make their own ground beef will have the trimmings off of the roasts, because they trim those up before they put them out. They'll have some trimmings on there and make ground beef out of those trimmings, which usually makes for some pretty good ground beef. I wouldn't buy ribeye, but given the price, I thought it was worth it. When I have ribeye, I get so satisfied. Ground beef's about $3.55. Yeah, see, and that's just it. I love ribeyes; they're great. I just have decided that I'm not going to spend that kind of money right now. I see it. I didn't expect a big crowd today because it is just before Christmas. I know we have some of our regulars that are out traveling. And Danny is listening in at work. Hello, Danny. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping in. And June is here. Merry Christmas, Bob, and happy, healthy New Year. Your story, we started Carnivore February this year, 2023, and we are thrilled with our health improvements. We are 65. Great. I am glad to hear it. I'm glad you're getting some benefits out of it. You've been at it for almost a year now, which deserves a high five and a fist bump. Good job. If you're getting a good deal on ribeye, I agree you should buy it and enjoy it. Absolutely, yes. Mm-hmm. Better to buy beef than duck food. I'm too poor to travel. Once I fix up my truck, I'll be taking a few trips. Excellent. Yeah, I saw you got your van running. And hopefully that thing gets into shape, because I think you said your truck needs an engine transplant at this point. We'll see. For those of you that aren't following Rick over at Charger Mopar, you should. He's got a lot of cool stuff going on over there. He's basically can fix anything and has ducks. That's my favorite part of his videos, is when he shows us the ducks. He had a whole family of ducks crossing the street yesterday or the day before. There was a mom and a whole pile of little ducklings. Last week, he got some rib roasts and cut them into steaks. I was astounded how satisfied I was and not hungry. Then I got on the scale and lost a few pounds. Absolutely. And Craig has made it. Hello, Craig. Should I send you the recipe for the holiday sardine casserole? No. You know, Craig, if you were in my Facebook group, I know you don't do Facebook, but if you were there, somebody posted up a picture of sardine-flavored candy canes for the holiday. And I thought of you when I reposted that picture. Sardine-flavored candy canes. Oh, yeah. Amazing. I'm one of the select few people who watch his videos. It's an elite group. Yes, we are an elite group, but hopefully we'll be growing very soon. As you guys know, I don't sponsor and sell a whole lot of products. I do Keto Chow primarily for their electrolyte supplements, but their actual Keto Chow shake products are pretty good. And because of my odd-shaped feet and having had gout all those years, I thought that the Fitville shoes were a good opportunity. And, of course, the Cerule products. There's a big announcement coming on December the 27th, next week. Next week on Wednesday, there's a big announcement coming. Be sure and stay tuned for that. Tune in for that. You'll know about it long before my video comes out, because it's going to be all over YouTube by the time my video comes out. But there is an exciting new product that's being launched next Wednesday, and I think you're going to like it. It's right down the alley of this channel. Like I said, I don't promote a lot of products. I don't like to sell a lot of products. Only the things I believe in. The Fitville shoes are pretty good. I mean, I've gone through life realizing that the boxes that the shoes come in usually fit better than the shoes because I have short, fat feet. But the extra wide toe boxes on these Fitville shoes make it very nice. There's links down in the description if you want to check it out, but you certainly don't have to. I'm not here to sell you anything today. We are going to talk about Cerule products here in just a minute, because that's something I believe in. And I just wanted to let you guys know the products I support, I actually believe in those products. I'm not in this, if I told you I wasn't trying to make a little money, I would be lying, because trying to make a little money is what this is all about, besides helping people. And, if all I was after was to make money, I could, take a cue from Rick and run my truck out and clean out houses and do junk and take stuff to the recycling center. And I could make a lot more money than I do doing this YouTube. I do this daily because I truly do want to help you people. What? I don't know what that means, Craig. John has made it to another live. Hope you have a Merry Christmas next week. You too, John. I hope everybody's having a great day. If you've got Christmas plans coming up, be sure and let me know what they are down there. And while I've got you guys here, I'm still planning on doing my regular live next Friday. Is there any interest for those that aren't going out to paint the town whatever color you paint it on New Year's Eve? Would there be any interest in just hanging out and having a live stream counting down from like 11, starting at about 11 o'clock on the East Coast and working our way across the country for about a 3 or 4 hour live stream, ringing in the new year as it rolls across the country? If there's any interest in something like that, then let me know. Let me double check my dates here. Yeah, the 27th is Wednesday. I might have said 29th, but it's the 27th that product is launching. The 27th. And it should be good. Need a wood burning truck. Waiting for the video on that. Now, speaking of wood burning trucks, there is a camper guy that I follow. He's a camping channel, and one of the campers that he uses is his van, and he actually has a wood burning stove installed in his camper van. I found that pretty interesting. He's got some stuff, he put heat shielding in so it doesn't burn his van down to the ground. But I'm actually considering a wood stove for inside my place down in Texas, but I've already got a propane heater, and that's probably what I'll use to start things off with. We'll see how it goes. Rob has arrived. Hello, Rob. I'm fortunate to be able to get grass-fed meat, liver, and bones. Excellent. That is gold medal food, and if you're fortunate enough to be able to get gold medal food in your budget, then that is fantastic. But for those of you that can't afford the gold medal food, as I just put out a video a couple of days ago about bronze medal food, if bronze medal food is what you can afford, then that's what you should have. Just remember, bronze medal food is not as good as the grass finished gold medal food or the grain finished silver medal food, but it is better than everything else. If it's a choice between eating hot dogs and bologna and deli meats and that kind of stuff, or having Cheetos and all the crap that's out there, I would much rather you go with the hot dogs and bologna and deli meats, because that's going to be infinitely better than a bag of Cheetos for you. I just watched Old Man Carnivore talking about addictions. He just released the stream. Good content. I'll have to check that out. He's one of the channels I try to stay current with, but there's just so many people. Like the people that I have interviewed that have agreed to be on my program are the people I watch first, because they were nice enough to come on my show and let me interview them. I feel like they deserve my support first, and I mix in everybody else where I can, which is why I always look at Rick's channel, because Rick was nice enough to come on, and hopefully we'll get Rick on again in January after the first of the year. Maybe we'll talk to him sometime during World Carnivore Month if he's willing. Mikey has arrived. Happy holidays. She's at her parents'. Have a sweet second to have a peek. I'm glad you're here, Mikey. Here, let me change this banner over here real quick, because she became a member last week, so her name got added to the ticker at the bottom. I hope you're having a nice little vacation, visit with your parents, all that kind of stuff. That's very important stuff. I made it to 20 consecutive days before traveling, and I felt amazing. Cannot wait to get. That sounds like you have hit a little stumble at your parents' house, which is okay. Have you mentioned yet how the tap dancing worked out that you talked about being so challenging? Has it happened yet? It happened on Tuesday, and it went just fine. Hopefully I'll have some clips of that made up for the members only section of the channel sometime soon. How cold does it get in the Texas desert? Not super cold. High 20s, low 30s. The area of the desert I'm at, because I'm at elevation, a little bit of elevation. I'm only at 4,000 feet. It's not like I'm way up in the mountains. I'm at about 4,000 feet. So it won't get super cold, but I'll have a little bit of a heater to knock the chill off in the morning. I won't sleep with it on. I sleep in a fairly cool bedroom here at the house, even because if I keep it warm enough in my room that I don't need the blankets, then I get really hot at night. And I like to crawl under the blankets when I go to sleep. So I've got my sheet plus 3 heavy blankets on my bed. So I like to keep it nice and cold so that when the blankets trap my body heat, it gets nice and toasty, but I don't end up kicking them all off in the middle of the night because I was sweating and then freezing because they were too cold. I don't like to. So when I get down to Texas, I will bundle up and then hopefully have a controller that I can kick on the heater with while I'm laying in bed to just warm it up enough to get out of bed and get moving. So I figure 120-pound tank of propane should last for as little as I'm going to run it. Should last for a good portion of the year. But again, we shall see how that goes. Wood burning truck would get in from miles as long as you keep feeding it wood. And bonus is you can cook your steaks on the wood stove and keep your sardines warm too. And you can actually cook your food on a gasoline or diesel engine too. Rick has a video about that on his channel where he hangs some meat next to the engine and cooks it up as he's running around town doing errands. It always baffles my mind how people actually want to eat Cheetos, donuts, and pies instead of roast beef or other meats. I understand, Rick, and I know for those of you that don't know, Rick's been a carnivore, as it says there in his title. He's been doing it for 40 years. So he's coming at it from a completely different place than all of us are. I imagine that if I live to be 100 and have been doing it for 40 years, that I will adopt some of the same mindsets he has. But you have to understand he's coming from a completely different place. He's been doing this since 1983. And he just, what he calls duck food, we call Cheetos and Doritos and all of the packaged stuff. I'm always available for interviews, especially for my elite carnivore YouTubers who use me as one of their first interviews. Thanks, Rick. Anytime. And if you ever want to do anything on your channel, all you got to do is ask. I'm still waiting to see if I can get Craig on here. If I get Craig to send me an email, he comments enough, I wouldn't mind talking to him live too. Evelyn has arrived. Hello, Evelyn. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. I need a truck with super cruise. It will have to drive while I am stoking the furnace. Speaking of that, have you guys... This is completely off the topic. It's another one of those things that about how idiotic our society has gotten. I'm sure you all remember that there was a lawsuit 10, 15 years ago about the lady who burned herself on McDonald's coffee, which sparked off a whole bunch of stupid lawsuits. There was actually one, and it's now in the manual when you buy, I think it's Winnebago is the company that makes this particular brand of camper. It's actually a motorhome because it's one of those that you drive yourself. But they actually have in their owner's manual, underneath the cruise control section, that you have to stay in your seat and steer the vehicle while operating cruise control. Because apparently some old retired couple set the cruise control, got up out of the driver's seat, went back in the back to make a sandwich, and then were shocked when they ran off the road and had an accident because the cruise control did not work. The lawsuit didn't go anywhere, but the fact that people can be that absent of thought just amazes me. How could anybody think? Because, now, yes, we have some self-driving cars, but I don't know that even with the self-driving Teslas and stuff like that, that I would trust it enough to actually get up out of the seat and walk around the vehicle while it's doing its thing. I wish my dad had the nerve to try out keto. Now he's bedridden. and has digestion issues. And I just kept thinking I would love you to try this out, but now you're so weak that you cannot make it through the transition time without huge issues. Yeah, but you could talk him into transitioning slowly over the course of a month or two. Let's see here. Where are you planning on going that you need a super cruiser wood-fired truck? Yeah, that's it. That's a good question. That's a very good question. To visit Beefy Bob, of course. Well, you won't need a super cruiser once they get down to Texas. Let's see here. If you visit Bob, better make sure you bring him 50 pounds of ribeye. Excellent. Excellent thought. Actually, I didn't really stumble. I planned on not having any rules and just eating what Mom does. Today I had to deviate and buy meat, and my body is very unhappy with me. I understand. You know, it is one of those things that, you know, we have to remember how good we feel on meat, and regardless of where we're at and what we're doing, we need to try and stay the course as much as we can. And I had in the title of this video, make a plan for Christmas. And the plan is pretty much the same as Thanksgiving. Just have a plan and stick to the plan. You know, don't, if you're going to, you know, have Christmas dinner with your family and eat all of the things, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as you understand that your body's not going to feel fantastic the next day. But to get back into it the very next day, have your favorite food already thought out, if not already pre-cooked, so that the day after Christmas, you can jump right back in. Because if you have to think to yourself, what am I going to do? You know, you get up the next morning and you don't have anything planned for the day after Christmas as far as what you're going to eat. Then you start thinking, well, I'm already out of ketosis. I've already blown it because I had that big day yesterday with my family. And I really liked Chinese food. So why don't I go over to the Chinese restaurant or whatever it is that you like to do back before you started this way of eating? And it's really easy to fall into that trap if you don't have your plan in place and jump right back in the next day. So my suggestion for a Christmas plan is to have your day after Christmas meal already planned out. If it's not something that's appropriate to pre-cook, have it at least thought out so you know you're going to cook it, so that when you get up the next day, you don't have to think about it. You don't go, what am I going to have to eat today? You've already got it planned out, so that all you have to do is jump right into your plan, throw it on the grill or throw it in a pan or throw it in the oven or whatever. And then you don't have to think about it, and you don't let those extra thoughts get into your head. To be honest, I'm not sure how long he'll be around at this point. He might still survive me, but yeah, I understand those sentiments, Mikey, and I am sorry. If you show up here with 50 pounds of sardines, Craig, I would still thank you for them, but the spare bedroom will be my trailer sitting in the driveway that doesn't have any heat in it right now because I've got it all torn apart. But the bunk is still in there. You're welcome to sleep out there in the cold. Mama is here. There are so many in my family who could be helped with this lifestyle. I understand. And hello to you, Mama Cracker. I'm glad you're here. And, you know, it is our first thought that we want to tell everybody about it and basically grab them and shake them till they see the light. But the thing we can really, the best thing we can do is to continue to just lead by example. Because as many people have pointed out, until somebody wants to be helped, there's very little you can do for them. And a lot of us know that from personal experience. So just keep leading by example, be the best version of you can be, and they can see that. I mean, if you guys saw my my interview with Violet, she's out there snowboarding and skiing and riding a skateboard and rock climbing and doing all these things. And I feel like I've accomplished something if I can get my underwear on without tripping and falling. So we're all at different levels of fitness, and all we can do is just continue to be the best version of ourselves. Meeting Wellness is here. Hello, young lady. How are you today? I'm glad you made it. I can tell you I'm very much looking forward to my well-prepped stash at home. I understand. Bob eats ribeye, not sardines. I do still have, I think, 2 cans of what he sent me left, but they're on the back burner for now because I still like tuna mixed in with my stuff, and I discovered that I kind of like the canned salmon mixed in with stuff. I did get an idea. I'm not going to put sardines in it, but I am going to try after Christmas. I am going to try taking a couple cans of sardines, mixing it up with an egg, and mixing it up with some pork panko, some crushed up pork rinds, and like making salmon patties out of it, deep frying them in some lard. I'm told that works out really well. I'm looking forward to trying that. And there's some talking amongst themselves. All right, time for bed. Have a great one, everyone. Take care. Avoid garbage if you can, and happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you too, Mikey. I hope you enjoy your visit with family. Yep, just saw in this chat ground beef for $2.29. Yes, depending on where you're at in the country. Where am I at here? Bert is here. Hello, Bob and Carnivore crew. I'm going to decline junk food on account of stomach issues if necessary. That's a good one. You can decline things. You can say stomach issues. You can say I have a little bit of a reaction to that, which isn't a lie either, because if it's made your joints hurt or makes it so you can't walk or stand up or whatever it is, or you break out, or whatever that problem is, when you eat the carbs, the junk food, whatever it is, you're not actually lying. I mean, like if you go out to a restaurant, you can tell the cook, please cook my eggs in butter or bacon grease. Please don't use any seed oils on the grill because I have a bad reaction to most seed oils. You're not actually telling a fib, you're telling the truth. Excellent advice, Bert. How are you today? No. Well, that's better than the price I was talking about. Nice. Let's see here. John, we are not wealthy like you East Coast folk. I might take him some Aldi ground beef. There you go. Aldi ground beef. And I've talked about this a lot. I like that Aldi ground beef. It's a little more expensive than what I was getting at Walmart, but the quality is so much better. I don't know what it is. They both say 100% beef. I'm just assuming that they're using better cows or better cuts of meat to make the ground beef at Aldi's than what they're doing at, because I assume the ground beef at Walmart that I got so cheap was basically the sweepings off the butcher's floor to make ground beef. I did just fine on it, but I can tell the difference between Walmart ground beef and paying 50 or 60 cents more a pound for the Aldi's ground beef. Sardines are great just out of the can. I can't do it, Rick. I applaud all of you that can. I can't. Gotta have a little sip of water there. I'm not, I can eat them, but I gotta either mix them up with ground beef or if I'm having just sardines, I still have to heat them up in a skillet with some bacon grease or something, and then maybe throw a little mustard on the side, because I can't do sardines straight up. You're so right about having a prepared stash. Get rid of the junk. Yes, absolutely. Oh, and I think I have a stomach flu. Everyone else I work with has, but I'm feeling somewhat better today. I'm glad you're feeling better, Rick. Hopefully that gets cleared out pretty quick. It probably will because you probably have better digestion than anyone in the group. Oops, the recipe for improved sardines sounds good. Yeah, I would hang out with you on New Year's Eve for a bit. Okay, yeah, and the question that I put out earlier, let me know in the comments underneath this video or send me an email or leave a comment here if you're interested. I'm considering doing a New Year's Eve, just kind of hang out and watch the ball drop kind of a thing on New Year's, starting at like 11 o'clock East Coast time and going for a couple hours, 3 hours overnight to ring in the New Year's. As it goes across the country. I'll see what else other people have planned, and I may completely nix the idea. But if there's enough people interested, we may have a little get together on New Year's Eve. For those of you that don't already have plans, it's certainly not going to be anything exciting that you're going to want to cancel your New Year's Eve plan to come hang out with Bob. But if you're like me, just kind of hanging around the house, not doing anything, watch for that. I may be doing something like that. The other announcement that I had today was the December the 27th. There's a big product announcement coming. I think you guys are going to like it. You know, I don't do a whole lot of products. I do the Fitville shoes because of their big toe box. They fit really well. I do the Keto Chow stuff. And I do the Cerule products. And I believe in all three of those products. That's all I do. Yes, I'm in this to try and make a little extra money, but I don't want anybody that's ever watching me to feel like I'm pressuring you to buy something. I offer the stuff out there with discount codes. If you want to go check it out, that's great. If not, that's okay too. It ain't no big deal. The best way to help support this channel is to watch all of my videos all the way through and hit the thumbs up and leave a comment down below, because that does seem to help YouTube even in these trying times of getting the word out that it's never too late to change your life. Let's see what let's say. Rick, no sardines for me, but that just means more for you, right? Aldi and a local store are my meat suppliers for me and the family. And the dog. Oh, the dogs. Okay, that's a dog. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the big screen. Yeah, there's a store out here called Fairway where they have really good meats. So I go to Fairway a lot. And then there's another one that's called Family Fare, which is where I go quite often because it's about the same distance as Aldi's is from my house, just a slightly different direction. Either way, it's like 3-4 blocks to Aldi's and 3-4 blocks to Family Fare. Fairway, I watch their sale flyers and go down there when I know they're having a sale that I'm interested in, because I'm out at about 135th Street, and the closest Fairway to me is down at about 90th Street, so it's quite a ways away. I get the flu 3 times a year so far. It was only twice, so it was time. Okay. Right, said Aldi's a German company, no telling where they get their beef. Their grass-fed beef comes from New Zealand, which I don't mind. New Zealand has some of the best beef in the world. I would rather support American farmers and get American beef, but in my financial situation, I can't go out to a rancher and say, give me beef, because I can't afford the prices they're charging. I understand why it costs as much as it does, but I can't afford that. So getting beef from New Zealand at Aldi's is okay with me. Sardines are kind of pricey now, so I don't eat as much as I did when they were 50 cents a can. Yeah, and that's just it. When I first started this, I had big piles of Spam, and I ate a lot of Spam because Spam was really cheap. Now that the prepper movement has spread and inflation has hit home and all that kind of stuff, it's Spam is not an affordable meat. It's expensive to buy a can of Spam right now, which is why I'm glad I still have my stock pile out in the garage. I don't eat meat every day. I mix in chicken thighs, turkey, pork, and ground beef, and some days just sardines. Okay? Yes, no one can pressure me to buy anything. Being broke has its advantages. I understand, Rick. And I occasionally get comments about, oh, here's another one just out in it for the money. You guys that watch me all the time know that's just not true. The primary purpose of this channel is to help spread the word that it's never too late to change your life. If I can make $1 on the side, that's great. If not, that's okay too. I don't count on any of the money I get from and it's very, very tiny, which is why I don't count on any of the money I get from all of the little things that I promote, the Amazon links, that kind of stuff. I mean, I got a payout from Amazon last month. I think it was $14 and some change. I get it in the form of store credit for Amazon, so I get a little more than if I had just gotten a cash payout. But it was less than $15, and that was like a 45-day payout. So I'm certainly not getting rich on my links down in the description. But if you happen to click a link and decide you want to get a book, Coach Bronson's book is out. Dave Mack over at Zero Carb has an ebook that I've got listed in there. That kind of stuff. If you use those links, that's great. If not, that's okay too, because I'm still going to keep pumping out content as close to every day as I can. I will be busy New Year's Day cooking sardines and black-eyed peas. It's a superstition. Ugh, black-eyed peas. Yuck. But okay. I'm just probably going to have ground beef and eggs on New Year's Day. I've got a special meal planned for Christmas, as I've talked about. We've got, but New Year's Day, I'll do something quick and easy because New Year's Day is bowl games. There's a bowl game tonight. There was a bowl game last night. Syracuse got stomped. But Ohio State won its basketball game by a lot, so that was good. Radical sardines are expensive. If you buy the Wild Planet ones, about $15 a pound. Yeah, give me just a second there, guys. My throat's a little drier than usual today for some reason. Probably because it's been so cold. The furnace in the house has been running. But yeah, which is why I got I still buy canned tuna, and I've gotten some canned salmon because those are still reasonably priced at about $1 a can. It's not super cheap, but mixing in either a can of tuna or a can of salmon with my ground beef once a week or so, I figure the ground beef has a fairly good ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 in it, but a little bit of tuna or a little bit of canned salmon will up that omega-3 just a little bit. I've never had any trouble, but just as a sort of a cautionary thing, I throw a can of something in about once a week. And Renee is here. Hello, Renee. How are you doing today? Send me an email, Renee. I'd like to have you on the program sometime to tell your story. There's the email address. Send me an email. Let's see here. caught up on. No, I'm not caught up on comments here. Nothing wrong with getting income on sales. I've never gotten paid a single cent from anything I did on YouTube or otherwise. I understand, Rick. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining at all. I'm not. Just with the new rules they put in for a certain lettered organization, I've seen my views drop dramatically. But now we just have to slowly build it back up. And that's what we're doing. I enjoy your content. Thanks for doing what you do. Thank you for stopping by. I have an interview for her. I'm having an old man moment. I think her name is Christine, but I could be wrong. But there's an interview on her channel you should go check out. I have a couple of friends that have seen me lose weight. I'm not a drinker at all. These folks drink, and they seem to think they can drink and do carnivore, and I just shake my head. They can a little bit, as long as they're drinking not beer. If they're drinking distilled spirits that have no carbs in them, the alcohol is still going to be very bad for them, and it's going to slow their progress. But they will see benefits of doing carnivore with alcohol as opposed to doing standard American diet with alcohol. They're just not going to feel as good as they could feel. That's my opinion. Again, this is not medical advice, but that's just my opinion. I haven't been a big drinker for decades now because that's one of the things that has come from all of the doctors that I've had, starting with the doctor who discharged me from the Army, all the way up through current. And even Dr. Berry agrees that alcohol and gout just do not mix. And I've not had a gout attack since I started this way of eating. And I'm not going to test alcohol just to see if it makes me have a gout attack. I'm just not going to do that. Drain the oil off your sardines and use it for fuel as your truck. Imagine what the exhaust would smell like. That's funny. I'm struggling with not having black-eyed peas too. Had them for over 60 years, tradition. You guys must be from a different part of the country because I've never heard of this tradition. I remember Craig mentioning it last year, coming up on New Year's. What we had, which other than the barbecue sauce was fairly okay, the traditional, well, and the mashed potatoes, but the thing that Mom made, she called it her version of sour braten. And that's what we always had on New Year's, which is basically pork ribs, barbecued pork ribs, and sauerkraut. And we usually had it over mashed potatoes. So, if I find some pork in the store, I may have some pork ribs for New Year's. That's what they do in the section of country I come from. But, if it's tradition and you want to have just a little handful of black-eyed peas, if you're superstitious about it, go ahead. I don't think, a few ounces of black-eyed peas are going to destroy you. Just as with everything that's not on plan, just understand that it is not ideal. And do I think having stuff that's not ideal once in a while is terrible for you? No, but just understand that you're not going to feel your best the next day. Oh, we have a question. Does the canned tuna have vegetable broth in it? Can't find any tuna for $1 a can around here that doesn't have vegetable broth as an ingredient. I don't know. My canned tuna is I get the tuna packed in water. And if it has a little bit of vegetable broth in it, I don't know. I've never had any reaction to the canned tuna that I have. I just get the cheapest stuff there is. I get it at Walmart or I order it from Amazon. Let me see if I can find real quick while we're sitting here talking about it. Let's see what they have. That's the stuff I usually buy. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find an ingredients list. Dolphin safe, omega-3. I don't see it on that one. Let me see if I can find another one here real quick. Let's see if there's an ingredient list on this one. Chunk-like tuna. Yeah, now the Bumblebee lists vegetable broth, sea salt, contains tuna and soy. So I don't think I would buy that. But on the StarKist, let me see if I can. I'm not seeing the ingredients list on that. Oh, well, I'll have to look. Yeah, I buy the stuff in spring water. And other than that, if there's a little bit of something else in it, like I said, I've never had any reaction to it. No sardines for me, too pricey. If I want fish, I buy mackerel or herring. These also taste better, but that's a personal thing, of course. Yes. Christy. Okay. I was terrible with names when I was 30, and now I'm 60, so I'm much worse with names now. Maybe when they do see progress, they'll give up the alcohol after they get some benefits. Yes. Louisiana, it's big here. Black-eyed peas, rice, cornbread, and ham. It actually sounds pretty good, but not for me. Oh, and the house has to be clean because if the new year finds you with a dirty house, then it will be dirty all year. I'm okay with that. And cabbage. Okay. As long as I can keep the duck poop out of the house, I'm good. Even the packed in water has broth these days. Yeah, probably so. Is that I don't worry too much about it, that little bit of stuff that's in there, because it is primarily tuna, and I turn the can up. I open them up, turn the can upside down, and squeeze them all really tight because I don't like the moisture on them anyway. So I squeeze the can really tight, and most of the stuff that's in there gets squeezed off. That's a very important goal. Yes, keeping the duck poop out of the house is a very important goal. Black-eyed peas are supposed to bring you luck in the new year. It's probably a Southern thing. Yeah, you Southerners have a lot of really strange notions, but that's okay. Northerners have their own superstition as well. Those ducks always poop on my doormat. A few years ago, I would have thought that sea salt would have made it a healthy choice. Yeah, well, which is why I use Redmond salt, and you have to watch a good sea salt that hasn't been exposed to modern oceans is fine, but so many of the sea salts now, they're just collecting ocean water and evaporating the water off of it, leaving you with the salt, but that also leaves you with the microplastics that are in the ocean. Dustin is here from Keto Simple. Hello, Dustin. How you doing today? I've got an interview on my channel with him back there a ways. Don't forget to go check that out. Let's see here. Last month, I was going to see Geddy Lee in Boston for his book signing. The tickets close to the stage were $200. I told my kids I'm going to save that money and buy Rib Island on sale. Yeah, that's a tough choice. I'm going to go see Geddy Lee. That's that would be one to think about. But it was really $200. I can see that. I mean, it's been so long since I've been to a concert or anything like that. I think the last concert I went to, I paid like $50 for the tickets, which I thought was horribly expensive then, and now it's much more than that. The Starkist, great value, and Bumblebee all say vegetable broth in the ingredients, even though it's tuna packed in water. This is at Walmart in California. Yeah. And they may have a little bit of vegetable broth in them, but packed in water. Like I said, I squeeze everything off. It's mostly tuna, the little bit of stuff in there that you might get otherwise. I'm assuming that the increased omega-3s will balance out. Like I said, you just have to try the ones for yourself, see if you have any reaction to things. Because I have never had reaction to it, because I just buy the best value tuna. And people saying hi to Dustin. Evelyn. Hello, Evelyn. Let's see here. Now I'm going to go look at my tuna. I understand. Yep, your tuna may be dirty, but it's not as dirty as tuna packed in oil. And it's not as dirty as a bag of Cheetos. I haven't actually talked about Cerule products yet, so we're going to do that here real quick before we end. If you have any last-minute questions, be sure and get those in. Cerule products, very good for you. It has to do with making your own body's stem cells release themselves at a greater rate, because once you reach about 30, your stem cell production slows down. All I will say is go to the website that I have linked there and read the science and decide if it's something that you might want to try. There, that's my hard sell of the day. The products I take the Stem Enhance Ultra, which you can't see because it has a green label on it. And I take the Sciactive, which is supposed to help with inflammation. And I take the Plasma Flow, because Plasma Flow helps clear out the fibrin deposits in your small blood vessels so that the other products can get to the small blood vessels to do their magics. And I've recently switched from taking the Sciactive joint to doing a daily collagen active, which you can read the science about that. And I haven't noticed a big difference yet, but I will keep you informed, because I'm only on like day 6 or 7 of doing the collagen active every day. So I'll let you know how that goes. I will, of course, keep you informed. Right, I'm with you, Bob. I drain it anyway, but it's still aggravating. Yes, it's aggravating, but you know, in a little bit of tuna, that little bit of vegetable oil or vegetable broth that might be in there, you're going to squeeze most of it off anyway. And I still think you'll have to decide for yourself if the increasing omega-3s offset what little bit of badness you might get out of a little bit of vegetable broth in there. Let's see here. I thought I was the only can squeezer. Nope. Nope. I do that all the time. Please hit the thumbs up for Beefy Bob. I thank you for that, Craig. Absolutely. Yeah, I think everybody does the can squeeze. At least that's the way I was taught to open. The way I was taught to open cans of tuna was to run it all the way around, squeeze it out, and then open it up, because you don't want all that extra juice and stuff in there. Because, of course, the way I was taught what to do with tuna is you then put, mayonnaise and relish and maybe some onions into it to make tuna salad. Carno Dave is here. Hello, Carno Dave. How you doing? They're all showing up for the last couple of minutes of the live stream. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. And Coco's here. Don't sweat the small stuff. Aiming for perfection will fail every time. Yeah. I absolutely agree with that. don't sweat the small stuff. I mean, a little bit of bad ingredient in tuna. That's just like it goes all the way back to my gold medal food versus silver medal food. Yes, grass finished beef is better than feedlot beef. Depending on what study and chemical breakdown you look at, it's somewhere between 9 and 11% difference in the nutrients that you get. But it's, depending on where you're at, 3 to 5 times more expensive. So you have to make that decision for yourself. And same thing, getting tuna with a little bit of vegetable broth in it, is that little bit of vegetable broth going to cancel out the positive effects you get from the boosted omega-3s? I don't know. That's something you're going to have to decide for yourself. I ended up not taking the allopurinol for gout. Decided my body will, with its healing, go on its own. Yeah. Now, I will say that I took allopurinol for 40 years, and that was one of the few drugs I took that I didn't notice any severe side effects from. It was all the other crap that I took. But if you're getting your healing in without without taking a pharmaceutical, I'm always for that. I don't sweat the veggie broth, but it just surprised me. Why is it there? It may have something to do with the packing. I don't know. I'm not in the food industry, so I don't know why that kind of stuff is there. And stressing will increase cortisol, cycle of doom. And saying hello to Renee. And Christy, at least it doesn't have high fructose corn syrup. Yes, absolutely. No high fructose corn syrup. And now we've got a last call for questions. Got about a minute and a half left in the live stream. If anybody wants to ask any last minute questions, don't forget to hit the like. If you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to go ahead and subscribe. After this video, after the live stream is over, don't forget to go down in the comments and say, hi, Bob. Let me know what your plans for Christmas are. That's what I've got for you today, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed. Look, Rick just put in a thing. Vegetable broth is a sort of flavoring to preserve things longer. What was the Christmas plan? I was late. Okay, I'll go over that one more time. Sure. The Christmas plan is to have a plan. Just like Thanksgiving, if you know what you're going to eat the day after Christmas, have it already thought out, if not already pre-cooked, so that you don't have to put any thought into what am I going to have the day after Christmas. Because many people are going to go ahead and relax and have their favorite whatever on Christmas Day. But if you have a plan in place for when you get up the next morning, because so many people, if they don't have a plan in place, you'll wake up and you're like, what am I going to have to eat today? Gosh, I already blew it yesterday. It's so easy to just say, I've already blown it. Let's go to the Chinese restaurant or whatever. So having a plan in place for what you're going to eat takes the thought process out of it. So that when you get up the next morning, you can just say, okay, I'm going to have this. I've already got it thought out. I'd throw it in the oven or throw it in the smoker or throw it on the grill, whatever you're going to do. You don't have to think about what you're going to eat the next day. You just eat it. And that will help get you back on track after Christmas. Everybody's laughing at, let's see here. Evelyn said, Merry Christmas. Thanks. Let's see here. The vegetable broth keeps tuna from tasting like sardines. That's what everybody was laughing at. Okay. But Merry Christmas, everybody. If I don't see you between now and then, I do have videos coming out between now and then, but I won't talk to you live until next Friday. So I hope everybody has themselves a merry little Christmas. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.